Hello everyone, welcome to Crypto Basics Coach podcast. I'm Marco. I'm here to help people navigate this topic so as to benefit from the opportunity this new technology provides and not get distracted or put off from the nonsense there is out there about crypto. Anything and everything presented and discussed, whether here or in our sessions, is of an educational nature and should never be taken as financial advice. Always do your due diligence and consult professionals before making any final decisions. Episode 3. Why all the FUD? What does FUD stand for? It's a term you're going to hear in this industry quite a bit. It stands for fear, uncertainty and doubt. And there's lots of other names for it. Nonsense, bullshit, misdirection, misinformation. At the end of the day, you're going to enter a world where you're going to hear a lot of contradictory information. You'll be wondering why one person says one thing and another says something different. But at the end of the day, at the moment anyway, there's a lot of tribalism between the different projects. Some of it stems from history. Some of it stems from perhaps a small pool of money in the early days where, of course, everyone was eager to get their share and they wanted most of the money to go into their project because obviously that would pump the price of, their asset. But unfortunately, as these projects have grown, a lot of the tribalism does really seem to come from just sheer ignorance. Whether that's ignorance of what their particular project can and can't do, or whether they've got some ignorance around what the financial industry actually requires, whether it's around the movement of money, yield generation, financial institutions, regulations, etc., etc. One way or another, you're going to find that someone is lacking either one or the other. So the sooner you become educated in understanding what the technologies do, what the use cases are, how they're going to be required, how they're going to be deployed and adopted, the better off you'll be, and you'll be able to hone in on the assets that are going to produce the best returns for you. Now, while I speak of use case, and I always bring everyone back to the use case, why do you hold on to a token? Why do you get into a particular project? It all has to come down to use case. And that will see you through the ups and downs of the market, and it'll make you a far better investor. Now, if I was to give you a scenario where I took you into a garage and I showed you 4 vehicles, one of them is a Formula 1 car, one of them is a Lamborghini, one of them is a family sedan, and the other one's a delivery truck. There would be very few people on earth who would look at those 4 and confuse the purpose of one for the other. As an example, if you're looking to move furniture from one house to the other, it's unlikely you're going to pick anything other than the delivery truck. If, however, you're looking to do fast lap times, it's unlikely that you're going to pick anything other than the Formula 1 car. And everyone would agree that, the use cases for those 4 vehicles are very defined, very clear, and you'd be a tad of a moron if you thought that, but I like Formula 1 cars, so I'm going to go and try and move furniture with the Formula 1 car. Or that you're interested in doing fast lap times, but because you like delivery trucks, you're going to use the delivery truck. It really doesn't come down to your opinion. It really doesn't come down to what you prefer. At the end of the day, one thing does one thing well, and it's better than the other 3. If only that choice could be adopted by more people in crypto. And that's what I encourage you to do. Become educated on each use case. And that'll just cut through a lot of the nonsense that you're going to hear. Because unfortunately, that's precisely what some people in crypto, and I'm talking about not just the people around a barbecue on the weekend, I'm talking about people that are in YouTube, online, have mass followings, hundreds of thousands of followers. And yet, using this very simple example, it would seem as though they're confused. They would think that you just use the one vehicle for everything that you need, which clearly isn't reality. And so I encourage you to get to an understanding of what the use case is, appreciate the fact that there's going to be multiple requirements in the financial industry for multiple of these technologies to achieve the near end, and be very, very aware or beware of anyone who is trying to tell you that one technology can do it all or that only one technology is required. They either have a gross lack of understanding of business, of finance, or of these technologies, or worse, they actually have a hidden agenda. In addition to those people, though, you might wonder, and as you investigate this industry, you might start to learn that, there are other identities out there that may have a wheel to grind on these technologies. And if you think about it, it's pretty simple to understand. Who has the most to lose? Who's threatened? Who feels that perhaps these technologies are going to take away some of their business? And you would expect that in that case, they would have something to gain from misinformation, from spreading lies, rumours, anything where essentially they can protect their existing business from these technologies. No different to the taxi industry when they first heard of Uber. They wanted to protect their industry. They lobbied governments and regulators to try and put a stop to it. Well, in this industry, it's no different. And in the area of money movement, money management, financial products, etc., all of those firms have a potential to be threatened by this technology. So financial institutions, banks in particular, they're the ones that have not liked this technology. They've done everything they can to postpone it, to hold it off, while in the background they knew they were going to be forced to adopt it. But it's no secret that banks have been making it hard for being able to invest in crypto. It's no secret that some of the FUD has been spread by the incumbents. It's no secret that the incumbents have tried to use regulatory authorities and governments to put a ban on crypto. In some countries, they've attempted to ban it. At the end of the day, when you look at these technologies and you sit down and go, okay, who's the most threatened? Whose lunch is going to be eaten by these technologies? You can then probably source that some of the misinformation has come from those entities. Now, as in my previous episodes, I always like handing out a piece of homework. This isn't meant to be a spoon-feeding expedition, as you will get to know me, and if you do any coaching with me, you'll know that I'm very much about empowering people. You know, the old term of, I'm not giving out fish, I'm teaching you how to fish. So last week, I encouraged you guys to go and learn about Nostro and Vostro accounts. And if you hold any sessions with me, be happy to go through what you found, what you will need clarifying on. But this week, what I'd like to do is give you some homework around stablecoins. I'd like you to go and learn what is a stablecoin, what backs a stablecoin, what's the recent regulations around stablecoins in America, and most importantly, how are stablecoins going to be used moving forward. In the next episode, I'm going to cover the financial landscape. I'm going to cover topics along the lines of inflation, debt, central banks, resets, and who the BRICS are and the impact that they're having on the world stage. If you found this information helpful and are interested in a more hand-holding approach while navigating this complex industry, please visit cryptobasicscoach.com, that's basics with an S, and book a session. The first 30-minute session is free, and we can get to know each other, talk about what your aims are, what you're looking to do, and how I might be able to possibly help. I've helped people get started, set up exchange accounts, wallets, DeFi platforms, and general knowledge. Look forward to speaking with you. Cheers.